Greetings everyone from Paris. I just wanted to take a few minutes to really quickly share with you guys something that is a really amazing way to view what's going on in the world right now. I'm certified in something called Inner Leadership, and basically what that is it's a lens in which you view the world through an energy human development perspective. And it's kind of exhaustive, so I'm not going to get into all of the energy levels in this talk, but I did want to just share a couple of them just to kind of build. And if you guys are interested in this topic, we can continue to talk about it in the future. Just shoot me like a comment and let me know that this is something you're interested in learning more about. I, for one, am fascinated by it, but just to give you an idea, it starts off, the first and lowest level of energy starts off as something called apathy. Okay, apathy is best known as like a victim mindset. So people who have a victim mentality, I'm sure we all know people like this. And let me just say that we all dip into these different levels of energy at different times in our life, right? Because we're human. It's just a matter of where we average out that really matters, okay? So as we begin to develop and grow, we start to have an average resonating level of energy in any of these different areas. So for the purpose of this talk, we're going to just talk about where we're kind of like averaging. And so in level 1, you've got apathy. You've got someone who has a hard time feeling like they're in control of anything that's going on in their life. For the most part, they are always feeling as if they're at the effect of their life rather than the cause of their life. So they're a victim. Everything is happening to them. It's someone else's fault. It's never their fault. You see a lot of blame happening, but not a lot of action to change oneself, okay? Because they don't believe that it's coming from the self. It's always an other. And so then a level up from there, and these two are both, by the way, something considered catabolic energy. Catabolic energy is very negative energy. Okay, when you have catabolic energy, you can get very sick. Your thoughts create that energy within you, okay? And so it's something called catabolic energy. So moving up from level 1 is level 2. Level 2 is considered conflict. And it's not just conflict with other people, whether it's work related, relationships, but it's also like conflict with oneself, okay? Like the world around them and within themselves, even sometimes conflict with the divine. But you'll see someone just very angry all the time, okay? Always kind of looking to have an argument. People love to argue their points, and sometimes it can be very cerebral, right? Because they're arguing, they want to show how smart they are. And so you'll see a lot of that going on right now on Facebook, right? Everyone kind of like wanting to one up and think that they have all the answers. And then, so like level 2 and 1 up from there, and this is when you start to get into anabolic energy, right? Where if you've got anabolic energy as an average resonating level, okay, it goes all the way up to level 7, but we're just going to talk about 1 through 3 for now. But if you've got anabolic energy, you don't get sick. You can start to heal yourself. You can start to heal and attract in your life the things that are good and that bring more positive experiences. And there's more to this, okay? You start to see opportunities in places where you would never have seen them. Opportunities almost open themselves to you because you're looking at the world differently. So anyway, level 3 is something called acceptance. Now, this is when you begin to just kind of accept things for how they are. In a way, you're kind of settling because it's not your ultimate goal, okay, to land in level 3, but it might just be like, for the sake of peace, you decide not to continue to be in level 2. Perhaps you don't want to completely cut off family members that are kind of unhealthy, to be constantly arguing with, and you decide, you know what, you're just going to accept them as they are. This is a way to kind of shift energy levels out of 1 and 2 and to begin to embrace more anabolic levels of energy. And so one of my most favorite, so I just want to say one thing, okay, and then we'll move up in levels. Right now, in a lot of the studies that have been done, it showed that the world is at a 2.4 average resonating level of energy. And doesn't that make perfect sense? I mean, look at what's going on. It's not just in like the state of what's going on in the world right now that we can see the 2.4, but you see it in like our entertainment. What do we find as entertaining? We find killing people and, you know, people killing each other, beating each other up. This is like what we find is fun. And I think you'll start to notice as you're finding different entertainment, you're gonna notice that that has a lot to do with the fact that you're moving up in human development, okay? But the average right now is 2.4. There's conflict everywhere. But I do wanna say one thing, because I don't want this video to be super long. The point of me sharing these things is not only for you personally in your own personal life, but just to give you guys a different perspective of what's going on right now. I think that a lot of the conflict that we're seeing is a good thing, okay? And I don't condone in the ways in which this is showing up, but I think for a long time there was whole people groups, and we know who they are, that have felt like victims. These are the people now who are rising and are deciding now that they no longer will have this in their life. They no longer want this for their families. They don't want this for themselves. They don't want this for their future. They don't want this for our country. They don't want this anymore. And so what's happening now can really be looked at as a good thing, because we are moving out of apathy. In human development, we're growing. And I think that's amazing that we're actually embracing. See, this stuff was all there. It was just in the darkness. It's just now being brought to the light. And so truth has been shown on those areas. It's not that they weren't there before. It's not that one person is particularly bringing it out. It's that collectively we've decided that we're going to grow in human development, that we are going to rise. And so I think that this is an amazing time. What we do with this and how we grow from here is going to shape history. But it's not worth going if we can't all go together, right? And so my heart is to raise consciousness one level, one human, one person at a time. And so each of us, if we can just begin to shift our energy. And for me, okay, for example, when I start to notice, everyone kind of dips into these levels from time to time, but if I start to notice that I'm just in a place of conflict, for example, I'm not really ever in level 1, but sometimes I can dip into level 2, and I find a way to, when I notice and I'm become aware that I'm in that level, I sometimes skip level 3 altogether, because I just, and I go right to level 4. And level 4 is compassion, okay? It's compassion for yourself, it's compassion for other people, it's compassion all around. And so if there's any of you guys struggling today with just feeling like you are at the effect of your life and not at the cause of your life, maybe you're feeling a little bit like a victim in a lot of ways. You just don't believe that there's anything good happening to you. I want you just to, number one, embrace the fact, like, just love yourself in that. Just embrace yourself. Embrace the fact that you need a little love and attention. And I want to encourage you to love yourself the way that you're expecting someone else to. Okay, so if you don't feel like you belong, give yourself some belonging, right? You belong at least with yourself, right? And if you feel like you don't have love in your life and there's no other to love you, that's something that you need to be able to give yourself. There is a place that I believe that only God can fill. I do believe that. But I also believe that it takes something from us to join with Him. And sometimes a lot of these pain points are just us kind of acknowledging that we need to do something about it, ask for a little assistance. And I just really look forward to all of us coming into a new place. I think that everything that's going on is amazing in a lot of ways. Not ideal, but it's amazing because we're growing, okay? So new things can come from this place. New things can't come when things are in darkness. New things can only come when they're brought to the light. And so may the light shine on these areas, and may healing come, and may we all Be that, give that to someone else today. Give it to yourself, give it to someone else, and watch the world around you change. So we'll talk more about this. You guys have an awesome day. Bye.